June 8th, 2023. My name is Brian Engelman.
And I'm Blake Walley.
And this is the Agree to Disagree show on the new American media because the old American media has failed you. By the way, Blake, I'm 2 episodes from finishing Better Call Saul. Not relevant, not germane to the topics of today's show, but you got to step it up because we're almost done here. All right, so then we can talk about it.
Right? Yeah, as a surprise, you thought it was 10 episodes, and then there were more.
I know, 14, I believe. 14
13
is the number.
or 14. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, it could be 13 or 14. Okay, all right. So let's just jump into today's topics because we have an abbreviated program. Thank you for checking us out. Subscribe on Spotify, the Agree to Disagree show, and find our new Rumble channel, The New American Media. Blake is on Twitter at TV's Blake Walley and thenextlevelnews.com. Also check out youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia, TheNewAmericanMedia.com. Oh, yeah, Instagram. Oh, let's start with Instagram. You know, I hate this company so much. The New American Media account shared something. It was a Simpsons meme about vote blue no matter who. And it was like looking underneath the closing garage door, and it was like Kamala Harris, like as Flanders or something. You know, our account has been so throttled. We're not able to share content on our Instagram page. But after we shared that on Instagram through our Facebook page, the official New American Media Facebook page, Facebook deleted our company page. So I hate Meta. I hate Zuckerberg. I hate the feds that run this stupid censorship group. Blake, fill us in on what's going on with their massive pedophile network. Let's go after them. I want the Meta files. Oh, I hate this company so much.
I know you've dedicated a lot of your time and effort to building on these whole big Meta platform. So yeah, it's a big bombshell.
You're right. Like before we get started, you're so right. I've tried building on quicksand, which is what's been so frustrating. I thought there was a bit of an even playing field. Some outlets are succeeding, some are failing, but it's like, okay, well, the marketplace of ideas. I need better content. I need better interviews. I need better shows. I need better engagement. You know what? It's all rigged against us. Screw Meta. Okay, sorry. Please go ahead.
No worries. Yeah, it seems to be a double standard, and this has really freaked out a lot of people, including this was actually broken by the Wall Street Journal, and now this is out of Zero Hedge through Summit News. But it's going back into a story we weren't allowed to talk about at the end of 2016. Probably one of the reasons why they did the big crackdown was because of the WikiLeaks and something to do with pizza. But here we are again. So cheese pizza.
And by the way, stop right there one more time. Yep. That's when Facebook realized they hated us because we did a Pizzagate investigation group. We set up a group to just discuss.
I remember that. Yep.
We set up a group specifically to discuss child abuse, and they hated that we were trying to expose child abusers because they're fucking monsters. Sorry. I have no patience for this company. I have no patience for the people that allow these demons to feast on and prey on innocent, youthful, vibrant human beings, and to destroy that like the twisted gargoyles that you are. Blake, I'm gonna shut up and let you just tell the whole story because I can't contain myself. But so I'm gonna find some restraint. I'm gonna take a deep breath, and you please just continue. I'm gonna put myself on mute because I might not be able to stop jumping in. I'm literally gonna put myself on mute. Please go ahead.
Right. Well, one of the things that was most alarming about that when I broke years ago was this whole, Comet Pizzeria and their Instagram profile that showed like kids with their, hands taped to the desks. And they had some really awful things that were saying. It was from this James Alefantis character. I'm not saying that there's anything to do with it, but there were some weird, alarming signs, and people were outraged about what may or may not be happening, and people deserve a chance to investigate. But some dummy went into the pizza shop with a gun, fired a bullet, and it happened to hit the... which is also a suspicious story. A gunman came into the Comet Pizzeria, shot a bullet, and that one bullet happened to hit like the server of the computer, and all of the files where all the supposedly awful content was there. So it was something very strange and sinister about it. And then they really cracked down on social media, and you weren't allowed to talk about it. Now, they have come out with a few documentaries. Out of the Shadows was one of them. I think they suppressed that. But there's been some, weird things that have happened on social media, especially with Facebook and Instagram, and Twitter. Twitter has cracked down on perhaps pedos getting involved. There's a pedophile network where they can exchange information or pictures, or perhaps even traffic human beings. I don't know. But it deserves investigation. Obviously, those are most vulnerable people being trafficked around by elites and in secret. Well, they seem to be protected while they crack down on anybody who tries to expose it. So there was a comprehensive investigation by the Wall Street Journal and the Stanford Internet Observatory revealing that Meta-owned Instagram has been home to an organized and massive network of pedophiles. But what separates this case from most is that Instagram's own algorithms were promoting pedophile content to other pedophiles, while the pedos themselves used coded emojis such as a picture of a map or a slice of cheese pizza. We talked about these symbols and these code words years ago, before they kind of killed that story. But I hate some of these way that they format some of these with the fonts here. But Instagram connecting pedophiles and guides them to content sellers via recommendation systems that excel at linking those who share niche interests, the journal and academic researchers found. The pedophilic accounts on Instagram mix brazenness with superficial efforts to veil their activity, researchers found. And here we go. Certain emojis function as a code. An app for it's a minor attracted person, or one of the cheese pizza, which shares its initials with child pornography, according to one of these researchers. So many declare themselves, isn't this cute, the lovers of the little things in life. Aw. Until you find out what it really means. So according to the researchers, Instagram allowed pedos to search for content, and they even openly used explicit hashtags such as pedo whore and preteen sex, which were then used to connect them to accounts that advertised child sex material for sale from users going under names such as, quote, little slut for you. So sellers of the child porn often convey the child's purported age, saying they are on, wink, wink, chapter 14, or age 31 with an emoji of a reverse arrow. So they're 13. Isn't that cute the way they do that? And right out in the open without any repercussions. So this has been going on. Apparently, they're having the elites are loving it. So I guess pedos everywhere. Just say, hey, just go on Instagram. You can find everything there. It's just right out in the open. Nobody has to worry about it.
The alphabet agencies are clearly involved with this. They all need to be taken apart with the Epstein revelations, all the blackmail. I mean, Facebook has been called Fedbook forever. We've seen the censorship. We've seen the back channels where federal agents from the alphabet agencies, they have access. The stories, the quote that came out after Elon Musk took over his social media network was he didn't buy he didn't buy a social media company at Twitter. He bought a crime scene. The stories about what was going on in those direct messages and what was happening in those back channels and the accounts that they were not going after. It's a willful allowance of this heinous demonic activity. There is no doubt about it that this is a collaboration, because this stuff would have been rooted out and sniffed out if we had any sort of functioning federal government, if we had any sort of functioning alphabet agencies, protecting the good about life, not just trying to start World War III in Russia, funding Ukraine to channel and money launder through the Biden crime syndicate and blowing up Nord Stream pipelines, causing environmental disasters and destroying, allegedly, dams and hydroelectric plants. Like, these people are fucking crazy. The ones in charge are crazy, Blake. And the fact that this is going on, and it's been going on name the platform. It was happening on Twitter, that article after article, how much they've had to clean up over there. Finally, Instagram is getting their due. Nobody deserves to be destroyed more than Meta. 100% hands down. I cannot stand them. Maybe Google, YouTube. But, you know, the other glorious part is they're kind of doing it to themselves. You know, just let it happen. Just let this happen in the daylight. So God bless these journalists undercovering it. What else did they get into in this one?
Well, they just said that Meta accounted for 85% of child pornography reports filed with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So, yeah, Zuckerberg should have some explaining to do. How would they just not know that all of this stuff is happening? It just seems to be this double standard. And they allow the elites to engage in this stuff out in the open, or just the pervs of the world, or whoever they're. But anyway, meanwhile, anybody who's speaking out or trying to do something about it, they're the ones that are getting censored. So
just to reiterate, they shut the New American Media account down because we had a group called the TNAM Pizzagate Investigation Group, because we caught wind of allegations of child abuse and we continued to investigate child abuse. If they don't like people bringing light to this demonic activity, fuck them.
Right. Period. Absolutely. So it's interesting how they pointed that out. Well, now they're trying to say they're blaming a software glitch. Oh, okay. Like we're all stupid. Yeah. But Meta allowing pedophiles to run rampant.
I fell into a 13-year-old. Oh, it was just an accident. It was, what a glitch. I don't know. I laid down with an 11-year-old today. Oh, no, that was just a glitch. My software glitched today. Silly me, silly you, silly situation. Yeah. No, that's not a thing. That is not a thing that you built a pedo network by accident in a software glitch. This stuff has been going on for far too long.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because this article was written by Zero Hedge, who are banned on Meta. But yet the pedos could just do all this stuff out in the open. It's insane. So there you go. That's should be messing around with Meta. Oh, and there was another tweet on that. I think, Brian, I don't know if I found this from you. Instagram from Benny Johnson boosts the vast pedo network. Advertisers lost zero. Twitter destroys their entire vast pedo network. And the advertisers lost about half, according to Elon Musk. So, yeah, that would show you everything, the priorities of corporate advertising. It is very strange the way that this happens.
All right. So what's next here? What's next? We're just they're trying to pretend it didn't happen. Who are the pitbulls going after them?
Our bad. Now we're going to do something. They claim that they've busted a few pedo networks, which may or may not be true. But yeah, now they're just saying it. Ooh, sorry, our bad. It's a glitch, and then we'll see what happens after this. So,
all right.
That's all I got on that one.
I got something else, but I got to find the clip. So let's move on to the next story, and I will try to find this, and we'll circle back to it. Thank you for getting us that one. It's a super important story. Now, another non-important story that is important because these people are so desperate. They are flailing and, a snake eating its own tail. Like, it's just, it's pure panic. Blake, agree or disagree that this raid on Mar-a-Lago was about Crossfire Hurricane documents? It's all speculation, but what's your gut telling you?
I would say absolutely true, but I mean, they haven't showed us what it is, but they seem to be freaking out about it. But yet it wasn't like they're saying it was like, oh, it's something to do with like Russia or nuclear materials that they had just laying around the office that anybody could have found. But it was BS. There seemed to be an ulterior motive, and this would certainly make sense if it was something to do with the Crossfire Hurricane documents, which were, I guess he had something to, let me pull up this story here if I can find it. I certainly have a lot of tabs open. Here we go. From the Gateway Pundit, signed letter by President Trump reveals that he declassified docs on Obama regime spying on him the day before he left office. And according to Jim Hoffman, the Gateway Pundit, this would explain why they raided Mar-a-Lago, and it confirms their previous reporting. This DC Drano on yesterday, tweeted out a signed letter by Trump January 19th, day before Trump left office, declassifying all of Crossfire Hurricane docs that prove Obama, James Comey, John Brennan, James Clapper, FBI, CIA, State Department, and Deep State spied on him and knew the Trump-Russia collusion hoax was a scam. So, seems like they were trying to steal back evidence of their own crimes, which now that starts to make sense. So they still haven't told us what it was that was so important that they had to perform a raid, an unprecedented raid against a former president, or maybe a current sitting president, if you believe in the interregnum. But yeah, certainly that would be breathtaking. The level of corruption that is going on now. This isn't confirmed, but it certainly would make sense. If they were trying to protect themselves, that would give them the incentive to take these back and bury them somewhere, like they did with the JFK files. So, any word, Brian?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They raid Pence's home and find stuff there. They find stuff of Biden's in Chinatown and in his garage next to his crackhead Hunter's convertible, and stuff here, stuff there, stuff everywhere, stuff at the University of Delaware, and you got Chinese nationals going in and out using it like a library to steal all the secrets. He was never president. That's all vice president stuff. Everything Trump did, he was the only person that was president. By the act of speaking it out that this is all declassified stuff related to it, it's declassified. Like, this is ridiculous. There is nothing that's going to stop the people in this country who support President Trump through hell and high water from voting him in regardless. You can have shackles on his hands and legs and he'll still get voted in as president. There's nothing that's going to stop this unless you JFK him. That's the only reason why DeSantis has any chance here, is because he's been promised by these creeps, these rhinos, these globalists, these fake Republicans, these fake defenders of liberty and freedom, that, no, don't worry, we're going to take Trump out one way or another. He's not going to be the nominee one way or another. The fix is in. There's no solid, reasonable reason why Ron DeSantis would think he has any chance here. So, yeah, I mean, we're all speculating what this raid on Mar-a-Lago was about, but I mean, President Trump had plenty of time to prepare for it. And, this is going to be, yet another fake accusation, yet another tilted justice system situation where everybody else that should and deserves to be punished for their actions, they're going to get away scot-free, but they're going to try to come after Trump for doing the same exact thing. It's ridiculous. It doesn't work. It doesn't stand. I don't grant that credence. I don't buy into it. Yeah, I have this Vanity Fair article now. It's about Trump. Let me ask. This is Savannah Guthrie. She says, "Let me ask you about QAnon." Guthrie said, referring to the far right, batshit fucking crazy conspiracy theory that a cabal of Democratic politicians, liberal Hollywood actors, and high-ranking government officials who worship Satan are running a child sex trafficking ring and simultaneously plotting against Trump, who is planning a day of reckoning in which thousands of members of the cult will be arrested. Well, that was their editorializing. It says, quote, "It is in this theory that the Democrats are satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that is completely not true and disavow QAnon in its entirety?" To reiterate, the thing Guthrie was asking the president, according to Vanity Fair, to reject was completely insane, entirely baseless claim that his political enemies and liberals are running a satanic child trafficking ring cult, which is not hard to denounce unless you, one, believe it, or two, are counting on these deeply disturbed individuals to vote for you. And yet, where's it at? And yet, he says, "I know nothing about QAnon." She goes, "I just told you." He goes, "I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say it. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia," he added, contradicting his claim to know nothing about the group and also giving the impression that the human rights workers, instead of these fringe lunatics, they fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it. I'll tell you what I do know. I know about Antifa. I know about the radical left, and I know about how violent they are and how vicious they are and how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by Republicans. This thing kind of went back and forth. And this has happened a couple of times in Trump's presidency, in his first term. We'll see in the second term. But in the first term, it was brought up on several occasions, and he's like, well, wouldn't you be against that too? I'm paraphrasing. I quickly tried to find the article, and of course YouTube won't show you. You type in Donald Trump satanic, it'll talk everything about how he's satanic according to these nut jobs. They rig their algorithms to only show you their version of reality. Google, YouTube, Meta, all trash companies. Hate, loathe, hate. But yeah, I just wanted to circle around to that. I couldn't quite find the exact quotation or video I was looking for, but anyway, yeah. One of the reasons why they're coming after President Trump with the Crossfire Hurricane potential documents at Mar-a-Lago in the raid. We'll see how it shakes out. And we'll see who was right and who was wrong at the end of the day. We got to go to rapid fire because
rapid fire. Yeah, I'll just say quick hello to a few people. Yes, it's good to see some familiar faces. Yeah, we're down for a couple of weeks there, so thank you for finding us. Michelle was asking if we changed the name of the channel. I'm not sure. We're running like 3 different YouTube. I think we're Blake Walley, The New American Media, and The Next Level News. And it's great to see Jane and Michael and Jody. Welcome, and everybody else who's going to join us later. But thank you for finding us. Yeah, we were shut down for election. Couldn't talk about the election of 2020 a few weeks ago. Were taking us down, but now that they've changed their policy, so now we are allowed to talk about it. But they didn't take my strike back.
Yeah, and I wouldn't trust that they're not going to do it again. So follow Blake in all of Blake's places, but also follow the New American Media in all of our places. So if his feed gets shut down, ours will be up. If ours is down, his will be up, etc. So make sure you're following the New American Media, Next Level News, and Blake Walley as well. So, by the way, speaking of Crossfire Hurricane, what's that behind you? What's your screen?
This is New York. I think that's which building is this behind me? The H&M building. If I could get my right and left. Yeah, it's quite the scenery is pretty amazing here in New York City. I was going to show the other one, but it's really hard to see the Empire State Building. It's pretty ominous, but it looks just like the movie Blade Runner from 2049. In fact, I'm going to have to pull up that since we mentioned it. Yeah, and the air quality, the wildfires going on in Canada. So let me, I'm going to pull this thing up real quick here. Let's see here. Check out this cool meme I made. Too bad it's hard to find me because I'm pretty badly shadow banned on Twitter. It looks like we're way ahead of schedule. Blade Runner 2049. There it is. There's Ryan Gosling moving through the dystopian landscape. And here's New York in 2023.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's insane.
It certainly is.
Yeah, and they're wondering where all those explosives went, where that chemical train went. I don't know. Now there's this massive rip-roaring fire. Who knows? Yeah, New York telling people to get back to the masks. All right, they're addicted to their masks. But yeah, that one is really bad for all the people affected and the wildlife. Michael's saying he's in Philly, and it's not as bad as New York, but it's not good. It's smoky. The air tastes and smells like smoke. In all his years in San Diego, only 2 fires were worse, and they were literally in San Diego. So, all right, prayers to everybody out there. Blake, thanks for that wonderful meme. Follow him on Twitter. He's at TV's Blake Walley, of course, and we are at American_media_ on Twitter. Stop and follow us there. All right, Blake, lightning round real fast. We got just highlights.
I got about 15 minutes, yeah.
I might have less than that.
Ooh, okay.
The FBI is covering up Biden's $5 million bribe. This is the rumor today. Do you agree or disagree that the FBI is potentially likely covering up Biden's $5 million bribe?
It definitely seems that way. They've been doing that for years, but now they sent James Comer, not to be confused with Comey, was going to send out a subpoena or hold Christopher Wray, the director, in contempt. But they decided to not go through with that. So members are they're canceling that. Because now they've released that, at least internally. So members are now allowed to view the Biden bribery document. So House Oversight Chairman James Comer yesterday evening, last night, forced the FBI to allow all members of the committee to review the Biden bribery document and receive a briefing. So they do not have to hold Chris Wray in contempt. So we shall see $5 million, and it appears that it does come from Ukraine and would probably have something to do with Burisma and getting Hunter Biden to sit on the board, collect big checks, I'm not sure this could have affected our energy policy. We're not entirely sure.
Also, remember they impeached President Trump because he made a phone call
right.
calling out the bribery and the corruption. So he's like, hey, you guys are cheating and stealing money and you guys are colluding to rig your blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, how dare you call out our corruption? You're impeached. It's like, that's not how it fucking works. It's the exact opposite. Are you kidding me? They impeached him for calling out the bribery.
Oh, yeah.
The treason, the traitorous acts. They go, no, Trump, you're impeached. How dare you call out our scheme? No, fuck you. Today's episode is titled Fuck You. To Meta, to all the deep state agencies, to anybody who is covering for the deep state cabal, money laundering in Ukraine, edging us closer and closer to an undeclared World War III. Fuck you. Fuck all of you. Today's episode is brought to you by the word fuck. I am really trying. I know I have it in me, Blake, to give a PG performance.
This is a family show, Brian.
Not this show. Not this one today. I am anybody that's involved in this stuff. I have no patience left for it. This is after 12 years of investigative journalism covering the stories that have been omitted by Fox News, CNN, MSNBC. We've been at the forefront of all this shit that's been proven right. Our batting average is Ted Williams style. I mean, we are Ichiro Suzuki. Yep. We are some of the best hitters. Tony Gwynn. We are the Tony Gwynn of independent media. Our batting average is pristine. Yeah, we've had mistakes here and there, but we've never lied to you intentionally about a single story. Try to say that about CBS, ABC, NBC, ESPN. Go through your corporate lying legacy media companies. They knowingly and intentionally lie to you and manipulate you as part of a propaganda campaign. So I'm just 12 years in. I can't suffer fools anymore.
Oh, yeah. No, they totally did a 180 on this one. Yeah. Trump had them and they were cornered. They started freaking out. And then all of a sudden they turned everything around and impeached him over it. And they should have been throwing the Biden family in jail.
Yes. Well, speaking about turning everything around, let's turn this around about Tucker Carlson. Do you agree or disagree that Tucker Carlson should shut down his new Twitter show? He was on yesterday, 2 days ago. Yesterday
was it yesterday? 2 days ago. Yeah,
and I think CNN is getting about 300,000 to 400,000 views. Maybe Fox Tucker was getting 3 million a night, maybe 4 million, 3.5 million. And the early results are in with his new show. Although I will say I'm disappointed. It was only like a 12-minute clip. Like, bro, like no production value. It was just him sitting there talking. It took you this long to come up with a 12-minute show after being gone for a month. Like, that is, I'm sorry, that's a weak reintroduction. Yes, your numbers are through the roof, but you gave us 12 minutes, dude. Well, I guess that's 4 times more content than they gave us about the January 6th tapes that got that QAnon shaman guy released because it proved that the allegations against him were false. Now he's on house arrest instead of being tortured in a prison cell right now. But anyway, I digress. I'm happy to have Tucker back, but dude, 12 minutes after being gone for how long? A month now?
Yeah, but he probably had a whole team of writers and producers that made that show possible. So for him, he's basically doing it like we, not necessarily like we kind of run ours off the cuff. We don't even really script ours. We just let it go. But I mean,
what gave that away? My rampant use of the F-bombs and middle fingers? I don't know. What gave away the fact that we're not polished at this and we didn't pre-script this?
Right.
Well, yes, this would not have gotten through our pre-show meetings,
right?
If
you
were.
Hey, this is real independent journalism here. So
it is. We get together and we find out what's going on in the world, and we appreciate everybody who's watching. But give us the quick highlights on Tucker, and we got a couple more stories to bounce to, and then I got to run.
Well, Fox News is telling Tucker that he's in breach of this contract by posting the Twitter show, so they're trying to put him on ice and shut him down for the next year or two. I don't know why they're threatened by this, but I think it's more of the establishment as a whole. So Tucker really got to him over the years, and it was funny watching the leftists freak out, and then later the cons. So now they've got rid of him. They got their man, but now he's going to try to take to Twitter and just do basic stories or whatever, even a smaller just video. But they are outraged, and they're going to try to sue him or what have you, anything they can to take down his voice for calling out.
Yeah, how about no?
Yeah,
how about no? Just no.
I agree.
How about no? Keep it going. Keep it going.
Absolutely.
Keep enough. Yes. And Michael's saying, dude, we are all just as pissed. We've been dragged along in the muck for far too long. Enough is enough. Keith is saying, giving a shout out to Blake. Michael's saying, totally. He's on fire. FUQYOU. Yeah. So, okay. I guess people were enjoying my rant.
There you go.
Once again, not scripted, but like, I just like, it's time. It is time to lay the hammer down. Just, you know,
yeah, this is like 10 or 12 years of frustration for us too. You know, we're trying to do something and seeing it. It's so obvious, and yet it's gone against us for so long, and it's frustrating. Just being in this fight, it gets tiring.
Well, hey, you know what? We got endurance, if nothing else. Yeah. All right, Blake, moving along quickly in this pithy version of our show, of the Agree to Disagree show on the New American Media, because the old American Media failed you. Do you agree or disagree that we need a constitutional amendment to restrict gun rights, Blake?
I am going to disagree, although, you know, Brian, you know, I know you're a lot more, you know, of a gun guy than I am, even though I do absolutely for the Second Amendment. I am curious about some of the ways that they try to curb this, or with common sense gun safety measures. I'm wondering if there is a way that we can, you know, appease both sides, some way we could agree. I'm not exactly sure how that happens, and we probably need a lot more time to get into it than we have right now. But you've got Governor Gavin Newsom in California. He's proposing a 28th Amendment. It would not abolish it, but it would establish a right to bear firearms for personal self-defense, minimum age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21, mandate universal background checks, waiting a gun purchase, wait period, and banning assault weapons, which I would not agree with, but maybe in certain
assault weapons is the stupidest term. Oh, a baseball bat is an assault bat. It's an assault weapon if you assault somebody with it. This canteen of coffee, this decanter, is an assault weapon if I assault somebody with it. Get out of here with these stupid buzzwords. Anything with the buzzword, I'm done with. Right. Let's just make it crystal clear. You want to say systemic racism? You want to say, Blake, what are some of the best buzzwords? The ones that signify that what you're about to hear is going to be complete horse crap.
I will have to. We don't have enough time to get into too much of that. I don't know them offhand. So
when you hear common sense gun reform, okay, right. There's no such thing. Certain buzzwords, you go, nope, non-starter, assault weapon, no dice, get out of here. No.
All right, Brian, would you be in favor of, what if they just said, hey, let's raise the assault, or let's raise the age if you can't buy an AR-15 unless you're 21 instead of 18? Would you be outraged by that?
Stop. No.
Really?
If you can be in our military at 18, you can smoke a cigarette, you can have a gun. Stop it. No. Hard stop. Not. I will not give a single inch on this issue. Nope. Not a single inch.
It gets tough because you got to try to find some way that it can be balanced.
Super easy. We should put laws on the books against harming people,
right?
And then we should enforce that. And anybody that violates that should be put to death. It's very easy. Okay, we got to hurry up and move. Oh God, super fast.
Yep.
Will Mike Pence win over MAGA and become the GOP nominee?
Heck no, especially when he said that he basically destroyed everything by saying that he would not pardon the J6 protesters. So,
not to mention that he did not show up when he had a chance to weigh in as vice president to count the ballots, the electors, and then they had to pass a law to remove the power that he had in the first place. I don't know. I think Pence was in on it. I'm not a Pence fan. I think the whole thing was a setup. It was all a frame job. And he was a part of it, so no dice to him.
Yep, I totally agree. So,
what about this one? Do you think government should put surveillance and cameras in houses?
This is where the title of the episode comes from, I guess.
Otherwise Orwellian.
Yeah. Well, this was from totally Orwellian from the Activist Post. This is also out of Zero Hedge. But 1/3 of Gen Z favors government surveillance cameras in every household. So can you imagine
come on.
Well, they're asking the 18 to 29-year-olds. Remember, these people can vote. Would you favor or oppose the government installing surveillance cameras in every household to reduce domestic violence, abuse, and other illegal activity?
Stop. Who's saying yes to this? Who's saying yes?
Generation Z,
they 18
to 29 years old. 29%.
Then we have to completely dismantle the schooling system. We have to completely dismantle the teachers' unions and the schooling system in the United States. If we're cranking out kids this stupid, The teachers unions and the entire teaching apparatus needs to be dismantled top to bottom and rebuilt. This is nuts. If you're creating kids this stupid, then you should have some sort of accountability from the professors, the teachers, the indoctrinators, the groomers who are getting all these kids worked up and weirded out to enter our workforce. No dice, man. This is just bizarre. Okay, final topic, because I got to run.
Yep.
Do you agree or disagree that we should give $300 weekly checks to illegal immigrants?
I guess I'm going to have to disagree.
What? You are so spiteful.
I don't know where they got to get this money from somewhere else, but it was interesting to let me pull up a tweet. This is from Bill, one of our listeners here. He says there's a tweet that he retweeted. It says California Senate voted to pay $300 weekly checks to unemployed illegal immigrants, even as the state faces a roughly $31.5 billion deficit. Work hard so your taxpayer dollars can support people whose first act was to break its laws. So we are rewarding the lawbreakers. And it's not that I think these people shouldn't, survive or whatever, but it sends the bad message. And then it doesn't, it encourages more people to come over. So this is out of the Washington Free Beacon. Yeah, this is already a done deal. So just more insanity. And Brian, I said it was the last story. I thought you wanted to get into the CNN one real quick, which I can
super quick. I gotta run. Yes.
Get to. So you were talking about Chris Licht's biggest mistake at CNN was being hopelessly naive about CNN. And interesting, one of our mutual friends here, Brian McWilliams, had this tweet yesterday. Great idea to oust the guy trying to give any semblance of credibility to CNN after it spiraled into irrelevance following Jeff Zucker's Trump-obsessed leftist coverage mandate. Yeah, all the just the crazy left-wing radical insanity under the Zucker regime. CNN tries to correct that and go back to headline news, or at least when they had some credibility before 2015. But that's what they were saying. But they had to kick them out. So they didn't like it, and the radical left doesn't want to be wrong and admit that they've been peddling propaganda for years. So
propaganda peddlers for sure. Make sure you send this to Brian McWilliams. Make sure that he knows that we referenced him so he can share this to his buddies and we can gain some new followers. All right, Blake, that's your homework for the day. I'm crunched for time, but this was an awesome rapid fire show. I appreciate you all for watching. Follow us in all the places, The New American Media, The Next Level News, Blake, Walley, Brian Engelman, all those things.
Thanks, everybody. Sorry to cut it short. Glad to have you guys here, and we'll do it again next week.
A quick show is better than no show. To be continued.
Okay. Take
care, everybody.